Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's the 18th day, and our journey into the chronology of the revelation of the Quran continues. Today we are focusing on Surah 65, 66, 67 and 68 that were revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the number of these surahs in the traditionally arranged Quran is 45th, 46th, 51 and 88. The 45th surah of the Quran is Surah Al-Ghasiyah, which means kneeling down. The 46th surah of the Quran is Surah Al-Ahqaf, and it means the sand desert, dunes. The the 51st surah is Surah Adh-Dhariyat, which means the dust scattering. And the 88th surah is Surah Al-Ghasiyah, which means the overshadowing event. These are the four surahs that were revealed in Mecca. Surah Ghasiyah has 37 ayahs. Surah Al-Ahqaf has 35 ayahs. Surah Adh-Dhariyat has 60 ayahs, and Surah Al-Ghasiyah has 26 ayahs. The major focus in all these four is on accountability and learning from the past and learning from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Al-Jathiya reminds people that their actions would not go without being challenged, without being questioned on the day of judgment, either here in this world or elsewhere in the world hereafter. People would be held accountable for things that they have done. If they have done an act of injustice, they would be accounted for. And if they have done good, they would be appreciated for that good thing. So this is one of the major concepts that emerges in Surah Al-Ghasiyah. In Surah Al-Ahqaf, the idea that ideas that are promoted that people should be careful of what they are doing. People should understand the consequences of their action, and people should be aware that they would be held accountable if they do anything wrong. In fact, these surahs that we have been focusing on in the last 2 days are the surahs that are considered the surah that begins with Hamim Sajda. That is, in the beginning there is this word Hamim. And this one, Surah Al-Ahqaf, draws people's attention to their own fate if they have rejected the divine guidance, that they would be responsible for that, and they cannot blame anyone else for the consequences they would face as a result of rejecting that particular idea. Surah Adh-Dhariyat reminds people to learn from the past, that the history is a tool to understand the evolution of human ideas and human society, and that history should not be ignored. People should try to learn from that history and then see what can be achieved from that within the context of the divine guidance. And the Quran obviously gives the parameters to understand the history within them. For instance, one of the ways to look at the history is to see how people deviated from the path that God has shown them, and then what were the consequences that they faced. And in that particular respect, the entire Quran gives a reference to the people of Ad and people of Samud and the Pharaoh and the people of David and Solomon and many other kingdoms all around the world, and invite people to think about the consequences. In the similar fashion, the Quran also asks in the next surah, which is Surah Al-Ghasiyah, to ensure that they understand the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By signs means that the universe. By signs mean that the laws that are embedded in the universe. By signs means what is happening in our earth and what is happening in our cosmos and what is happening on the moon and what is happening on the sun, and try to understand these kind of laws that are embedded them, and then from there those laws draw certain conclusions that would enable people to understand the nature in a better manner and use that nature in a manner which would be helpful for human beings to make their life more comfortable and more accessible to the divine grace and divine benefits. So in other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding people that you can understand the signs of God, you can understand the history, and you can basically be aware of the consequences of your action if you have the sense of accountability in you, and if you understand that everything that you do in this world would definitely be put into question to you once you are brought back to life after this short transitory period of existence in this world. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our channel.